Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Ty Christensen. Amy! I actually don't remember what the little girl's name. What was her name?
It was Jay.
Jay! Jay! That was I don't know. The way she called out for her annoyed me.
Because she was trying not to do it loud.
Right. It was just really painful. I don't know why. But anyway, we've got Jordan Christensen on the podcast.
They knew, Robbie. They knew.
That's not in this movie.
Exactly. I don't actually know a quote from this movie.
I know types like you, Jordan. I know types like you coming onto the podcast. Weird little white boys with a chip on their shoulder.
Listen, I wanted to rewatch this, but Hulu's streaming service is ridiculous. Please update your apps and fix it, because Netflix, they've been doing this for a longer time. I understand their apps are much better. However...
Yeah, they've got, all kinds of content and everything.
Oh,
it's
brother,
amazing.
here we go again. Okay, so all I'm saying
Cancel
is...
your Netflix subscription, folks.
Fix your app so that when I want to, listen to something and then close my phone so my battery doesn't die, but still listen to it and, let it keep playing. But for some reason, it won't allow you to do that. And they won't on their app, on my Apple TV, you can't pause it and skip through it. So when I lost my spot, I had to start back at the beginning because it won't let me slide through it. You can't skip. It's so infuriating. Fix that,
well, if you do
please.
it on an iPad, it worked just fine, so.
I know nobody from Hulu's listening to this, but if you do, fix it. Because that made me so mad. I kept having to go back.
So don't let your anger at Hulu bleed over into this movie, because this movie already has
I wanted to
enough hate
rewatch
from
it and then have a quote ready and, be better prepared, because I watched it 2 weeks ago, but...
It's oh, stupid Hulu.
It just ticks me off, that's all.
So, we've got Cameron Mickle on the podcast.
Did you ever kill anybody? I lost count.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I loved when they're playing cards and then he freaks out.
Stupid game! That's Cameron's reaction to everything when he starts to lose. Yes. He realizes he's not going to win. This is a stupid game. I'm so sick and tired of this game.
Totally me.
And
when I was 7. Gosh.
We've also got a very special guest. Welcome back to the podcast. We have Jane
for her
Rosso.
4th time?
Third?
Yeah, I think it's third.
And my quote is, Mrs. Lowry.
Gosh, no, do I hit...
Mrs. Lowry? Okay, oh my gosh. Let's get into this movie.
Yeah, those are some banana twists. How are they all in the same location?
I know.
Who says that? Those are some bananas twists. I actually like that.
A banana
That's really funny. That's a banana twist.
Actually, that sounds really good right now.
I wanted Allstate, Are You in Good Hands, man?
Yes.
To wake back up after getting shot and being like, I am actually the child trafficker that you keep hearing about. I wanted that twist.
Yeah, me too. Just
keep going. It just didn't, it stopped though.
But
it just
eventually
all the twists and turns. It just stopped doing twists and turns.
You know him as the Allstate guy. I know him as President Palmer, baby, from 24. Oh my gosh.
No, I still know him as President Palmer, but
you called him the Allstate guy. No, I'm saying, that more people might know him as that.
Yeah. Are You in Good Hands? It's all I know him from. And I also know him from that gangster. Heat. He's the guy on his on his luck that's working for that useless fry cook, and then he takes the job. Shouldn't have taken the job, man. Should have gone back to that racist employer you had. At least he would have survived. At least he would have lived to see another day. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But he went out like a baller.
Yeah, he did.
He went out like a baller. No, man, because now his wife is grieving, and it's great. Now I'm not even making his minimum wage. Now he's dead to me. It's just another dead guy.
Now that I think about it, he went out like a baller in 24 and in this movie.
Did he die in 24? Spoiler alert.
Season 5, kaboom.
I don't remember.
Remember President Logan you always
I think
make fun
everyone
of?
died.
No,
everyone close to Jack died in season 5.
Well,
That's
except Tony Almeida, he died but then came back alive.
He did.
Anyway.
It's just too good to let go. Anyway, folks, we're talking about No Exit, as in you may not leave your seats after the movie started, because this movie doesn't let up. It's just twist after twist after twist. And after a while, I'm like, is there anyone in this rest stop that we can trust?
When No Exit popped up on the screen when she pushed open the doors, I thought that was a great
that was
intro.
so cool.
Yeah,
that was great.
That was really good.
It was like somebody sat down and wrote this, It's great.
Unlike half the shows that comes out on Netflix, so.
I know, I literally wrote, the first sentence I wrote in my notes was, she exits rehab, but, no exit. Anyway, it's dumb, but I was trying to make a joke. I was like, no exit. She literally just walked out the door. I'm just saying it wasn't much of no exit.
But she couldn't. She can't escape her addiction, though, Ty, because there is no exit.
I know. Which I have to ask you. She does drugs, right? Did I Imagine that. She's nailed to the wall.
Yeah, and then she snorted
like,
some coke.
And
I'll just take one less hit. Like, I thought that was
Wolf of Wall Street, Ty, everybody's got a stash hidden just in case, you know, when they know.
I didn't get the point of it. I'm like, is she justified in doing drugs because she's been nailed to a wall?
Yeah, it's like Batman in the new one. He just stabs it in his leg.
He's got to take some adrenaline.
Yeah.
Oh!
Got to take some Mountain Dew.
Oh, yeah, he takes the green stuff, which I was going to ask.
Dew.
Do you think, the Mountain Dew, do you think that's are they...
Bane juice.
Yeah, are they preparing us for Bane? That was just an idea.
Tom Hardy comes back, yes.
Oh
my gosh, I'm back.
I think somebody does abuse that juice and then becomes Bane. Thoughts?
Guys, this movie, fellas, fellows and fellas, what are we going to talk about? Let's get into this movie. This movie came out in 2022. It's on Hulu, directed by Damien Power, who's done pretty much nothing that I recognize. We've got Havana Rose Liu, Danny Ramirez, David Rizdal, Mila Harris, Dennis Haysbert. Are you in good hands? There he is. Dale Dickey, Benedict Wall. Dale Dickey, wasn't she a druggie in Breaking Bad? I think she was.
She looks like
what
a
else
druggie.
Was she in? She was in Hell or High Water, Iron Man 3, Winter's Bone. I guess I remember her in Iron Man 3 and Hell or High Water.
Is that the main girl?
Both of those,
or the...
No, she's the older lady.
Oh.
I didn't recognize any of them.
The nanny, the maid who was extorted by a little brat. I actually thought of another horror movie like this. I thought of the movie Identity when watching this. Did anyone else get that vibe from Identity?
I haven't
The
seen
movie
that.
with Identity is the one with
John Cusack.
Heartthrob John Cusack. Yes, thank you. I was going to say 80s heartthrob John Cusack. But anyway, that was a movie that came into my head when I was watching this. So, but let's get into what was it like watching this for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast. Let's start with you, Cam. What was it like watching it?
So yeah, watching it for the podcast was my first time. Jane actually recommended this one to me. She was like, "You got to check this one out," and so I was really interested. And I didn't. I finished all my homework for the weekend, so I was like, "Oh, might as well watch it today." And yeah, kind of like you said, Ty. I started it and I went to make like a quesadilla for the movie, and then I had to pause the movie because I kept hearing things. I was like, "Whoa, these are some important stuff going on over here."
Yeah, it's so fast. You can't look away.
And so
It's a tight 90 minutes.
So I had to pause the show, and then I made my quesadillas, and then went back. And holy cow, yeah, like you guys mentioned, it was just super fun. And at first I was kind of like, oh, I'm not sure like where this is going to go. But then it just kept getting better and better. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then at the end, I was like, this is such a good villain. I knew Jordan would love the villain, so I was like, I definitely have to recommend this to him.
Well, when I thought it was going to be more like Clue, like, oh, who could it be? But they're just like, no, it's this guy. He's the weirdo, the one you thought it was.
And this one.
I have some, I wrote some notes about that. I put handsome guy, deaf, ! I knew it was the handsome dude. I knew it. What really upset me was the next scene when the most obvious guy gets in the van.
Yes.
Like, are you feeling warm back there? I was like, oh, shoot. But I was like, I'm still the handsome guy. And that's why the second twist didn't surprise me, because I was like, yeah, I knew he was bad. I knew it. Like, I knew he was the whole time. I never trusted him.
I explained this. I was talking to Jane and Jordan about this. I'm usually always so good at predicting, but anytime it's like a Clue-ish movie, I swear I'm so naive. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that guy's got to save her. And then she's like, but the guys, where's the men? Yeah, and she's like, what?
I'm sorry. I saw that coming from a mile away.
I
Poor
didn't.
Cameron, dude.
Oh, I did
not.
No,
but again, only because I have a fail-safe. Kevin, my friend, Kevin, if you're listening to this, he always said in a whodunit, it's never the most likely, that's called the red herring, and it's never the least likely person, but it's always the one that's right in the middle. And in this case, it's everyone. It's both the most likely, it's the least likely, and it is the people right in the middle.
Yes.
Because is there just a single person at this rest stop that wasn't involved in this kidnapping?
The black
Justice
guy.
for Ed.
The one black guy? Which he had to die because this is a horror movie, so he had to die.
Wait, Ty, did you get that from The Office? I mean, did Kevin get that from The Office? I'm just watching The Office right now, and that's what Dwight says. And they do a murder mystery party. It's like, it's never the one you most suspect or the least suspect. It's somewhere in between, so it's Phyllis.
That must be Kevin taking it from The Office, because I thought Kevin had came up with that, but I'm like, it makes sense that he would quote The Office to me and take credit for it. Love you, Kevin. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. So yeah, so what was like, Cameron, finish up what you were saying?
No, yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Jane, how about you? What was like watching this movie for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast?
It was so good, like surprisingly good the first time because it just came out. I was like, oh, this looks good, so I'll watch it. But just like blew my expectations because I didn't really have any. And then, yeah, the second time I was like picking up on like the little details and stuff. Like I probably should have realized this, but I didn't notice that his like the license plate said Nevada, and that's why she was like asking everyone where they're from. And then the creepy guy was like, oh yeah, Battle Mountain, Nevada. I was like, oh, it's him. Like,
which again, I was just waiting for someone to be like, oh, but I'm using my brother's car. I wanted that twist where she totally thought it was him. And then he would have been like, oh, I'm borrowing my friend's car.
That's what I was hoping too, yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping it wasn't going to be him, but they like pinned him against a wall, tortured him even. Like I was thinking of a prisoner situation, but anyway. But no, it was the most likely fella that freaks out playing cards. He just slams it off the table. My gosh, that was so funny.
Looks like a fetching junkie.
He's just sitting in the corner. Yeah. Greasy, mousy hair. Jordan, how about you? Watching it for the first time, rewatching it for the pod?
Well, I started it the first time with my wife, and then when the little girl is in the card, she's like, help me! My wife's like, I'm done. So I had to finish it the next night. Are you kidding me?
Myself. She's done Zodiac and like Prisoners, but she couldn't do that.
No, I'll tell you. My wife will tune out any kidnapped children endangerment. She doesn't go near it. Just get 3 kids.
Yeah, you know, thing.
Between the ages of 3 to newborn, and they will be out. No interest.
I know. No she just likes comedies or chick flicks. And
but you tell her all the funny lines in it, you know? Weird little white boys with a chip on his shoulder. That was funny. It's funny.
So I paused it, and I'm like, I'll finish it the next day. I go back to hit play, and it starts in the beginning. I was like, oh no. And I couldn't skip through it. And so...
Because you're watching it on your phone like a psychopath.
Well, and then I had to resubscribe on a new account because the other account I didn't know the password to, and I couldn't get in touch with who knew it. And so I had to create a second account to finish this. And that's why I was really upset with Hulu. But I skipped through. I mean, I could have just started from the beginning, but I really didn't want to. Anyways, I watched it.
You problems.
I know, and I love it, and I just had fun. It's just like a perfect B thriller. Like I love and thrive off of these types of movies. Cameron's right. Yes, I did love the villain. Like Ty said though, I was hoping that the obvious one wasn't the villain, but I
wanted him to have a redeemable moment, and he almost did with the nail
in the
point and the lights.
Yes, and the nail. Oh, I can't wait to get to the nail. I knew he was gonna. I'm like, please fall over and please go further in your head. Like I'm like, yes, please.
Which happened almost too quick. I almost wish you could have had one more. Again, they rolled him over, but they already had it grizzly. I don't know why they didn't show a close up of his head hitting the ground.
Yeah,
it was just like he just slipped and he was already on his face.
That was so gross.
The nail's in, yeah, but he slipped on the blood like comically so, like 1 foot on the blood, like a little bit of like a few spattering of blood, and he just straight down. It wasn't even like trying to catch and fall; it's just straight down on his face. I just thought that was really funny. Didn't know blood was so mucusy, I guess. Oh, folks, guys, I watched this for the first time last night, and don't know that I'll ever watch this one again. I might recommend it to somebody that wants a cheap thrill, because it felt like a cheap thrill, but I had a fun time because my notes, I'm looking through it at the very beginning. Like I said, Jordan, my anticipation was the mousy guy is going to get a moment of redemption because I said he's a misdirect. He'll probably die, though, is what I put in my notes, which is funny because, again, I was right, but I thought it would have been more of a redemptive where he's like, a lot of people think I'm socially awkward or whatever it is, right?
But no, he's just like, I kidnap children to give them better homes.
He really does kidnap children and give them better homes. I didn't get that line. I also I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you kidnap children and put them... How do you know they're better homes? I guess that's the lie you have to tell yourself.
I think he's just
I think he's also... I think he's special needs or something.
Yeah, there's something wrong with him. That's great. And then I also wrote, I was like, this movie reminds me of Bad Times at El Royale.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Identity. It's literally, and Clue, all these movies who've done it.
Yeah. I know
Identity with,
about.
Yeah, John Cusack
with
the motel
ending with the fetching kid.
No,
who's
the kid,
gonna leave me.
I wrote in my notes, but no demon child. But I was hard pressed for the moment when there's the reveal with the comatose child wakes up and she's like, what's the name of her nanny? She's like, Sandy? I was like, oh, it is a demon child. She's like, dance, Sandy, for me. I'm like, what a...
Yeah, did you want the girl to die? Because I was like, this little brat.
After that moment, I was like, kidnap her. Sell her to
Yes.
trafficking, bro. I care. What a little bee. I also thought, you know what?
gosh.
This stole my idea. Well, partially my idea, because it wasn't used for blackmail. But see, I want a Black Mirror episode where a little kid goes to his parents and goes, hey, Mom, Dad, I've been hearing people refer to this racial slur. Like, how is it said? Like, it starts with this letter. Oh, and and he's filming himself, and then he gets his parents to say the word. He goes, oh, could you use it in a sentence? And then he has this hidden camera, and then after the parents say this thing, by the power of editing, he's like, I got this video of you saying this racial slur. You don't give me a new cell phone, buy me a new car, I'm gonna freaking release it everywhere. And I'm gonna get CPS gonna come in here, take me away from you. I don't know. I just think it'd be funny. A funny Black Mirror episode where kids are using technology to even outsmart their parents. Like, I could see that becoming a thing. Anyway, there's a Black Mirror in there somewhere, I feel like. But anyway, it's a work in progress. But I thought of that when she's literally like, do a dance for me, stupid girl. I'd be like, no. Like,
Dance,
I'm cleaning your
monkey,
house.
dance.
Shut the fudge up. Like, I don't care. Yeah, dance. I'm like, I ain't dancing for shit. It's like, it's not like her parents would be like, why didn't you dance for my daughter? It's like, you pay me to clean up your house. Like, I'm not here to, dance for your daughter. Like, it was so upsetting because I was like, why is she blackmailed? And why does she have to do what this little brat tells her to do? Like, why was she a prisoner?
Well,
I tried to get empathetic with Sandy's character.
Well, it's because she was like, if you don't do this, I'll tell my parents that, I caught you. I don't remember what it was.
Smoking weed.
Yeah, smoking weed.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so she already was blackmailing her. That's right. I do remember that line. And I remember thinking, okay, one, was it true? And two, okay, this daughter is going to rat on you. You'd be like, that's a bad situation already. But she's like, I guess my only out is not only to confront the parents and be like, your daughter threatened to tell me that I sell weed, but it's not true. I don't know. Get ahead of it. Maybe, you wouldn't believe him, but be like, oh yeah, we know our daughter. She would never do that. But I'm just saying the other alternative is sell her into slavery.
Yeah, that's very extreme.
I'm just saying.
Very extreme.
I'm just saying that after watching the Hunt, I don't trust any parent who has a child because they will choose loyalty to their child over any logic.
Oh, I know. No, but again, when it's like this, where it's drug use, I'd be like, so your daughter just asked me to do a dance for her on her video. I didn't want to do it. She threatened that she'd say that I had weed. I would seriously come out just like that. That's just me. And if I got fired for it, I'd be like, whatever.
Not worth working.
She can't be like whatever. She probably needs the money. The reason that she sold the girls because she needs money.
Right. But what's funny is okay, so she's not willing to continue to dance and abase herself, but she is willing to let this girl get kidnapped, is what I'm saying. They're very different worlds, and I know they try to play it up we had all these debts, and I'm like, where do these debts come from? This guy's, Allstate veteran man, he seemed totally fine. He seemed like a successful guy. She found a nice...
Yeah, he said he liked gambling.
Maybe, but...
Maybe.
Maybe. Oh, we blew all of our money, all of it.
Ty, that's what a gambling addiction is, dude.
I know, but I just love the idea. It's like, well, let's get into... I just thought it was funny.
Well, she didn't do it. She was just expecting to get the ransom money. She didn't know.
I know. And then she's like, it's not about the money. Don't you get it? It's not about the money.
But then even when she found out it wasn't just a ransom, she's still saying to take her, so...
Which is great because I literally wrote down...
There
was definitely... Jane, you said you rewatched it. There was definitely moments where I'm like, oh, Sandy is bad. Why on earth would she be like, give him back to her? They kept... or give her back to them.
Yeah.
And she kept saying. And I was like, no woman would say this.
When she snitched saying that they didn't have a gun,
the woman that literally
screw her, bro.
So.
That was when I was no longer on her side. When she's like, he doesn't have a gun. I was like, yep, I hope you die.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Deserved to get shot. But it was really funny too. There was a moment where she accuses him of being a... He's like, I know why it was so funny. He's like, I only kidnap kids and sell them into slavery, but I'm not a creep. I don't know why I thought that was so funny. He's like, yeah, don't besmirch my character.
He's like, I'm just the
not
delivery
that
man.
Low life. Yeah, I'm just... I work for Amazon, okay? Oh, I just thought that was so funny. But anyway, so let's get into two of your favorite parts. Jane, why don't you hit us up? What are your two favorite things from this movie?
The poker game was so funny. Just how mad... Wait, was his name Lars? That was the creepy one, right? Him getting so upset.
Lars. Perfect name, Lars.
When he was the one who was like, oh, let's play it. And it was so intense because that one was one she didn't know. So she's like looking around at everyone, like trying to figure out who it is. But it was all of them.
It was everyone. Which is really funny. There was a litmus test at the beginning when she walks in and she's like, who of these 4 people, strangers, is the kidnapper? And it's like, the black guy? No, I wouldn't want to assume it's him first. Maybe not the Mexican either. Let's go with the other creepy white dude or the girl. But if the girl's, the Sandy's in on it, then her husband would have to be on it.
Yeah, I was like, maybe it's a couple, but no, it's just her.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
And then the second part is the scene when Mrs. Lowry is talking to the police and she's like, oh no, I didn't hear anything. And then it cuts to her just like listening to the girl screaming like, Mrs. Lowry, help me, please. That was so funny.
Yeah, I did not expect that at all.
Oh, Cameron, how about you? 2 of your favorite things?
I mean, my favorite thing, definitely, obviously, is just the villain in this is amazing. Ash, played by Danny Ramirez. He is so over the top. Like, he's just like that. He's that guy who just won't die. Like, there are so many scenes of like, are you fetching kidding me? And like when the cop comes, I'm like, just shoot that mofo. He's like, oh wait, sorry, what? I'm like, he's like, put your hands where I can see him. I'm like, bro, shoot him. I don't give a freak. I was like, I'll back you up.
I know, so frustrating.
Well, if you do shoot him, like, don't be in plain view of the cop. Lay down. I don't know. Get out of sight. Yeah. Like, she shoots him, and then the cop. Funniest shot, though, where she gets shot, and then she falls on the hood of the car, and she's like...
Because she went through so much.
I know she did, but for some reason it made me laugh, because I couldn't tell if it was the sound of the car squeaking as she slid off of it, like the friction, like a sliding sound, or she was, like, whimpering and, like, gasping for air. It just made me laugh. I'm sorry.
Can we just talk about...
It's a very serious moment.
Like, the worst day she must be having, finding out her mom has an aneurysm, trying to get to the hospital.
And finds out through, she doesn't even get the news from, like, a family member. It's like, in spite of her, it's like, oh, by the way, I got this, I'm looking at your phone.
Yeah.
Mama died. Like,
horrible.
Like, that was a good moment. I actually liked that villainous part of it, where he's like, oh, because they talked about it during the BS game, where he's like, oh, people say, like, thank you for your service. It's just as empty as saying, like, sorry for your loss. And he literally says, sorry for your loss. Yeah. Like, I liked it. It was a good callback. It was a really good callback, a good situation. So I like that. I like that aspect of it. But what else, Jordan?
That's me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cameron. I'm sorry.
And,
who's talking?
My second favorite thing was I just loved, I was more naive, but I just loved that reveal of it being the 2 guys. It's because like, oh, hurry, because I knew like the creepy guy. I was like, he's not very organized. And I'm like, at least she's got, because I hate it when in movies when people figure out something really sketch and they keep it to themselves. Like, it always works out better the more people you tell. In this case, it did not work out for the better because the person she told was also in on it. I
would have loved it if she had just said it openly and then everyone's like, what? And then the wife gets her husband shot immediately and it's the end of the movie. Like, right then and there. Like, because everyone's in on it. Like, it's just so funny to me. Like, yeah, you're right, though, Carrie. She's like, oh, I'll tell the one guy I kind of found handsome. And he's like, oh, yeah, like, I'm on your side on this and everything. Oh, my gosh, yeah, what a creep.
Yeah, when they kissed, I was like, oh, yes, like, I'm rooting for them. Nope, that changed really quick.
Of course you are, Jane.
Yeah, and then I was just like, oh, my.
Of course they manipulated you that way. I knew it was him. And you're like, oh, she finds attraction to him. Yes. I'm like, nope, it's too good to be true. Which was really funny when he, like, decided to conspire in front of the view of the car. I thought that was weird because he's like, you go out there. And then he'll probably follow you, and I'll get a chance to jump it. And then they both go outside, and they're both standing there pointing at the car, yelling. And, like, she obviously figures it out in the moment because the girl that's been kidnapped says, like, my 2 captors, and she figures it out there. But I'm like, why would Asher and Lars be talking in the open view of the car is my point. Anyway. I just thought that was funny. Like, pointing it to the car, like, yeah, let's get her. She knows we're bad. I just thought that was funny. Like,
but yeah, just
anyway.
For me, the reveal of when she said, like, but where are the men? And she's like, what do you mean men? I was like, oh, fetch, dude. I was like, are you kidding me? That was and I didn't even completely click. I thought it might have been Ed, and so I was like, oh, frick. But
Allstate,
yeah. But then,
how could he be kidnapping this girl against his wife's wishes? Sandy's like, you kidnap children? I didn't even hear her coming up for some. But no, to your credit, Cameron, I thought the reveal was going to be, it's not my van. I thought that was coming. I thought,
because people were saying
Never
like,
came.
oh, well,
I thought
I'm
even
just
like,
driving through, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was like,
he'd have been like, oh. Or Sandy and him met up. So Ed was like, oh, hi, honey, I had to meet you here at this rest stop.
Yeah.
but he actually has the kid in the van and has to get out of there. But the storm, like, that would work.
That would have been good.
Because it was like, oh, we drove up separately. And then, again, the reveal is, because there was no way both Sandy and Ed were going to be in on it together unless they were like this psycho couple, natural born killers or something. But I was like, it's very unlikely. So yeah, I was waiting for that reveal where it was somebody else's car, somebody else's license, something.
But yeah,
no,
it was I think that twist and just all the twists just were really fun.
Yeah. Kidnappers was a good line. I like that. But Jordan, how about you? 2 of your favorite things.
I've kind of already mentioned them. We talked about the nail in the head. I always love a good death, especially to a villain that I think is amazing. This kid is great. And then the second part, which Ty made fun of, the taking the cocaine to get adrenaline, totally reminds me of the scene from Wolf of Wall Street when he takes the cocaine to save Jonah Hill's life. I just love.
That's right.
I love a good scene when people like take drugs to get that boost to, I don't know, do something insane.
Did it? I guess it numbed the pain for her to like remove a nail. I guess.
Well, she got enough like
a metaphor for like the reason I do drugs in the first place because it feels like I have nails in my forearms. I don't know. No. I would have liked it if she decided not to do the drugs personally.
No, what you want her to just rip out and what is wrong with you? Are you?
I thought this would be a character building moment. Like you guys think it was good that she took the drugs?
Yes.
I thought it would have been a better moment.
She had a nail in her arm.
What the freak is the matter with you two?
She had a nail in her arm. She was going to die.
Jane,
she was going to die.
Allegedly, have either of you ever taken drugs before?
Not that one.
Yeah. Like that's why.
Allegedly, I've never taken drugs myself, and I'm just saying, as a movie about a recovering crackhead, I thought it would have been a good character moment where she overcame her addiction to drugs.
You've never taken medication to numb like an illness or anything?
Yeah, like
same
thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, I take crack cocaine all the time when I have a headache. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
No.
What I'm saying is this is a movie about a drug-addicted person.
I know,
and I thought her character was supposed to supersede
I understand what you're saying,
drugs,
but that's not exactly the moment to overcome it when you have a nail in your arm. This whole movie around the
situation where she is like morally permissive, like it is morally permissible to allow her to take the drugs. I just thought that's kind of funny.
No, at the end she was in rehab again.
Yeah, see, that was her trying to make it. And she started speaking to them, right? Or was she?
Yeah, and she opened up. Yes. But it was
that's
because drugs isn't something you just overcome in one scene. Like even if she did overcome it in that moment,
and that's not the time to overcome it.
Yeah, when there's a nail in your arm.
You're like, now is the time for desperate times calls. But see, do you get my point?
No.
No. I think your argument falls apart because it's like, you guys are like, oh, it's fine that she wanted to numb the pain. I'm saying...
Dude, it was to survive.
A movie about addiction.
It was to survive.
The
guy would have come back with a gun and blown her brains out.
I get the feeling that Cameron and Jane are like, I would love an excuse to do drugs. Just give me an excuse.
Oh my gosh, you're so dude.
Yeah, I want to get nailed to a wall, so I have an excuse.
I guess I'm alone here. That's why.
Yes, you're just trying to make us seem like idiots, so to invalidate our argument.
No, I'm surprised. I'm surprised to hear you guys. Like I said, I didn't like the moment where she took the drugs. I thought she would have a moment where she didn't need them. Again, I liked her transformation.
And that's not the moment to have that.
You know what she should have done, Ty? Is just thrown it. Like, I'm giving it up.
Yeah.
That would have been the stupidest shiz ever. And then just dies. Yeah,
I actually thought she was going to offer it to Lars and like get him distracted with it. Like I thought she was going to use it as a weapon and be like, "Look, you don't need to take the drugs."
I thought it was used perfectly.
You could like, again, I'm the other one now. I just thought it was going.
I forgot to mention. I love the part when the little girl's like slowly moving to the light switch, and he's like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Stop doing that."
He's so freaked out.
Lars, look at me, Lars, you don't want to hurt her, Lars.
Yeah, he is one
I thought she would offer drugs to him. I thought the drugs were going to come in handy, they literally to do something to be relapsed on.
Oh my gosh.
She didn't relapse because she never really got better.
Yeah.
Okay, let's slow down. You guys agree with the premise that the movie is saying that drugs are bad, right?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Like being addicted to drugs are bad?
No, we think
we think cocaine is
it's
very
not the point of the movie. Well, then why is she in rehab in the beginning and the end then? Like she's trying to quit her addiction.
Twist.
But maybe I'm crazy. Did you not think it was cringe at all? Like I thought it was silly. I get what you guys are saying. Like, that moment of adrenaline to take out the nail.
But you didn't.
I understand that predicament she got into.
But you didn't think it was when Robert Pattinson stabbed himself with some drugs to beat up the guys?
No, that definitely was. Yeah. And what's worse is like he didn't even kill the guy. I thought for sure he was going to kill the guy in the moment, and then they were gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, Batman just killed someone in front of our eyes." Just go there, please, DC. Really go there. Stop pulling your punches. I'm literally talking to you viewers. Stop pulling your punches. Beat the guy to death.
Well, it's being Beetlejuice,
So
I thought you can't
take
control
drugs, but you
yourself.
can beat someone
Yeah,
to death.
exactly. But Batman is
what the heck?
so superior. No, guys, I'm not. I think Batman did a bad thing taking the drugs. I think this person did a bad thing. What I'm
It's
saying
to survive.
is,
Anyway, okay, we're
Yeah.
it's a loop. It's a loop.
yeah, it's not a loop.
It is
what
a
I'm
loop.
saying is there another way in which she could have done this?
No.
Without involving like the drug taking. Is that what I'm saying?
When the nail went into her arm, her options were very limited. Let's just say that.
I get that the limit. Whatever.
Agree
like
to
I said.
disagree.
Yeah. So do you get the sense because she's in rehab at the end, she's not going to return to drugs? Is my point. Like,
I mean, that's the goal.
She's trying.
Yeah.
That's what recovery is. It's trying.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah,
stop
we've all
trying,
dealt with-
that's when
yeah.
you give up.
So what is the moment that she saw? Like after she shot the guy or stabbed him in
After
the neck?
she got
with the-
rescued.
I don't think she was. I
Screwdriver?
don't think she was thinking about drugs when she was like dealing with kidnappers.
No.
who
She
was
definitely
murdered.
was because she snorted them. She was thinking
Oh my
about
gosh.
him. She kept him on her person the whole time. I just thought they would be used as a utility and
To
she'd be
save
like,
her own
oh, I
life.
need
Were.
to take drugs. No. I thought she would be like, I don't need to take drugs to be free. I could
force other
not
people to
take
take
them.
drugs. Yeah, that's
Yes.
an even better message, Ty.
anything.
Don't
No,
take drugs. Give them to others,
Whatever.
especially those who are
I love it.
special
You guys
needs.
you guys are crapping on me because I'm like, I don't think she should have taken the drugs nor given them to anyone. I don't think she should be kidnapping children or no one should be kidnapping children. What I'm saying is I thought there would be a moment where she would like overcome her addiction. If that's not what the movie's about, that's fine. The movie's called No Exit. Pretty much when you're addicted and you're in a cycle of, relapsing, there is no exit. I get that. Like you're in the gall of bitterness, you feel terrible. I just thought there would be a moment, like a character defining moment where
Yeah,
she's
at the
like,
end.
I learned something. At the end, what?
She goes
When
to
she's
rehab.
in
That's her moment.
rehab.
She's in rehab.
Got it. Back in rehab.
And she's
Got it.
actually talking before she was very closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but where did she learn that from?
Oh
from
my
taking
gosh,
drugs
from
and
this
stabbing
entire
people?
Scary experience, and her mom
It turns out I
died.
was able to satiate my drug lust for changing it for bloodlust. It turns out after I murdered 3 people at this rest stop, I feel cured. I no longer need drugs anymore.
She wasn't cured. It just showed her she was making progression.
Got it. Perfect.
What the fudge, dude?
Works fine. I'm just surprised. That's all. Like,
All right, we heard you.
Oh, Lou.
I respect your opinion.
guess
Ty.
I'm alone there. No. I think Cameron and Jordan don't, and that's fine. That's fine.
Oh my god.
So, are we going to be smoking tokes after this? or-
You're so dude.
No, I mean, anyway, doesn't matter.
Actually, just based on your conversation, clearly you have never done drugs because you don't know how they work.
Yeah.
Well, have you guys? So you think taking a shot of crack wouldn't make you feel the pain of the nail?
I mean,
Maybe
obviously, but
doesn't.
it would
I don't
weaken
It gives
know.
you enough energy just to survive the moment.
Woo!
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I guess I don't know.
It's Popeye's spinach.
Yeah, Kate, just let's continue. Let's go to nitpicks.
That's my nitpick. Well, that's why I brought it up. Like, anyway, but it doesn't matter. Another nitpick. I mean, I guess. Oh, where did you find these guys on the internet? Like, can you go on Craigslist and put like wanted kidnapping for hire? Like, I didn't know that was a thing. Like, it's like I guess you could just solve anything with the internet, right? Like, oh, I found these folks on the internet that take children and sell them.
Well, I think she just thought that they were going to kidnap them as ransom and then get part of
I
that
get
money.
it. Yeah, and she's like, oh, we'll get the money and then she'll go back to her parents. I get it. I get
Yeah.
that was a lie. But what I'm saying is, how did you find these people on the internet? Can you post on the internet kidnapping hoaxes?
Yeah, she doesn't
right?
she doesn't exactly seem like the type of person to be connected with like the dark web or anything, so it would be
Yeah.
difficult for her to come in contact.
Exactly. Or like find someone on the internet and doesn't get like through the nets that the FBI and the CIA and all those people that deal with child trafficking. She's gonna end up on freaking Catch a Predator. It's like, oh, why did you come here? You came here to kidnap a girl. Like, it's like no. Or cops. Like
Yeah.
they're like, here's an
that
email
episode-
list. You were trying to conspire to kill your husband or
Yeah.
kidnap a child.
That
Like we
episode's
have these
crazy.
email like saying you were trying to do this. And it's like, no, that wasn't me. I was set up. It's like, okay.
They actually caught a woman trying to kill her husband. That's amazing. I mean, like, hire hitmen.
Right. Another thing is like there's only one thing in the world that sounds like a gunshot. Firmly disagree. My daughter slamming the door in an fit of rage sounds like a gunshot. Dropping a pan in the kitchen sounds like a gunshot. I just thought it was funny when they're at the restaurant.
Have
It's
you
like,
ever heard a gunshot
nothing
before, Ty?
sounds like a... Yes. I've shooting many guns.
I've shooting.
I have many
I
guns.
shooted.
I shooted at many guns. I shot many guns. Yes, I know what a gunshot
Well,
sounds
but
like.
you have those
There's plenty of
earplugs
things that
on.
sound like
Yeah, I'm just saying,
There.
for a veteran, I could understand why a veteran would be like, yeah, I know that sound.
Look at you guys. Now you guys are going to disagree with everything I'm saying. That's
What?
fine. I don't need to have any more nitpicks. If you guys don't
Oh
like
my
them, go ahead.
gosh.
Oh my gosh, Ty, we're just debunking them as
can
all.
we can we
not
defend
talk?
the movie? Can we defend
Ty's like,
the
you
movie?
have to agree with me, otherwise this is not good.
Yeah, what the heck?
I'm just surprised. Okay, I guess Like nothing else sounds like a
It's
gunshot.
okay to have different opinions. You just act like we have to be on your side. It's okay. And if we don't come up with a good enough opinion to you, you're like, well, I'll just stop talking then. It's like, what?
Well,
you're speaking crazy.
Yeah,
just keep talking.
We
love
there
it.
are many things that sound like a gunshot, but that's fine.
And that's what we said for a veteran. That might be true for a regular citizen, but probably for a veteran, like it's a very distinct.
I agree with
probably.
Cameron, but now you're laughing at him and making fun of him. So how? You're literally doing.
I just thought it was funny when he said he was a veteran. I'm like, I guess the idea is because he's shell shocked, but then you're like, no, he's heard gunshots much more.
Yeah, in war, so he recognizes the sound.
Yeah, so he knows that sound.
No, I understood it. I was just laughing at the idea that he had like PTSD. I just thought that was funny. I don't know why. Just like he's a good character. I had no issue. I'm just saying I was really trying to make a joke, but it didn't land. Thought there's plenty of things in my life that sound like a gunshot. That's all, and they're not. So the sound of fireworks, for Pete's sake. I don't know. There's plenty of things I can think of that sound like gunshots, but whatever. Why don't we put this file? I'm sweating over here, you guys. Why doesn't somebody else talk? What are the nitpicks you guys had?
Her name being Darby.
Yeah, that is a stupid name.
But I do love her
totally
hair.
agree.
Oh my gosh,
Me
her
too.
hair is so awesome.
I did think I guess it's understandable, but I guess just because he's handsome, but he did make very quick advances. I mean, I guess she kissed him, but then just instantly trusted the fact that he let her kiss him. I don't know. I was just like, are we just going to trust this man because he's good looking and he's a good kisser?
I don't like the idea that, he's like super charming, charismatic, and then like once the jig is up, he's like, I am a super maniac, psycho killer maniac. Like what? Like even if he was like, oh, my intentions are clear, he could still be like a charming
He's a
villain.
sociopath,
Instead, he's
dude.
like a psychopath.
He's like
No,
he's
but
like,
he's not even sociopath. He's like yelling and setting things on fire, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna kill you all. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, they did the same thing in Shadow and Bone in every movie where it's like, oh, there's this handsome, charming prince, and I think that I like him, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, but he's the villain, and then he's like, I'm gonna kill everyone. It's genocide, or it's my way. It's like kind of how I'd like to treat you all in the pod for like,
Well, it's kind of
disagreeing with my take on drugs, and you guys are like, I will kill you all if you don't agree with me.
It's kind of like the slow.
It's 180.
I think he and your friend or whatever he talked about in Lighthouse how they turned crazy too quickly. I don't know. I think it's always been there, except he's just kind of putting on this fake
facade.
Yeah, facade. Yeah. But again, I mean, it's hard to believe it because at the beginning, he's like napping in the corner. He wakes up. Oh, hey, we're playing cards. Smiling at,
Well, I think he knows. Well, he knows exactly.
I'm super good looking.
Well, see, that's the reason why he's better at what he does than his like special needs friend.
Exactly. You get to see them playing the cards, and he's the best one at it. He's lying up a storm.
Yeah, he's the best liar.
Right. So, but he doesn't stop being a good liar just because the jig is up.
No,
like,
once the mask is off, he's like, oh, now you're gonna see what I really am.
Yeah. What's
What's
the point of hiding and pretending that he's not insane?
I don't say he still has to hide. What I'm saying is like he's full mania. Maybe he was enjoying it, but he was. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Is the point like
we get what you're
Jane
saying.
But do you get it?
But we
You
have
guys are
different
like, oh, the jig
opinions.
is up.
You
my
act like
gosh.
having a different opinion is not okay.
Yeah.
Why is
You're right, because I'm always right, and I'm always
Apparently.
trying to educate you guys. You guys need to do the work and understand where you're wrong.
I don't know why
I'm
we
trying
can't
my
have
best
different
here.
opinions. It's okay.
I never said you could have a different opinion. Can we just argue about something? And instead it's like, oh, Ty, stop taking so much offense. I'm like, I think it was ridiculous. And if you guys don't think that way,
Oh my
that's
gosh,
fine.
whatever.
I just have to air my grievances with somebody because I'm talking to a wall here. I'm reviewing this movie.
We are coming up
I have
with you're asking questions, so we're answering them, and you're like, like, what is going on? You're acting as psycho as the guy in the movie. You're just like,
I know,
The mask
right?
is off.
Once
The
you
mask
guys-
is off.
The mask is off.
is off.
It's just, yeah,
you
exactly.
just did a 180 on us.
Exactly. Oh, you're not stupid, Ash. Stupid Ash. You guys are a bunch of stupid Ashes. All right. What do you guys think? Any other quotes? Any other nitpicks?
Oh, I enjoyed it. It's a fun movie, and I recommend it.
Yeah,
a really
me too.
good B movie. I feel like a pretty easy recommend.
I think I might recommend it. Yeah, I think I'd recommend it. Just be careful with who you watch it with because you might have some friends out there that are going to peer pressure you into thinking that drugs are okay, and there's some circumstances where drugs are okay. And I'm just here to tell you on the podcast that drugs are not okay.
I think we should beat that joke a little more.
You guys are bad influences on me. That's why I like hanging out with you so much.
Oh my gosh. We never once did we say that drugs were okay.
You did. You said she could take them.
Yes,
No,
in the
we just
circumstances when her arm was nailed to a wall, and to survive a serial freaking killer, a trafficker, she took cocaine so that she could pull rip a nail out of her arm.
That's the only circumstance.
That is a circumstance where it is okay.
That is the circumstance. That is the circumstance. Okay.
Oh,
Loud and clear. Got it. I just thought, I don't know. It's funny. You got catfished. Well, it's unlike any catfish I've ever seen. You know, like usually catfish is like, oh my gosh, it's a woman instead of a dude, or you're 800 pounds overweight. You know, what are all these pictures? Oh, they're like 10 years old or whatever. And in this one, it's like, oh, you pretended to be fake child kidnappers like Fargo, but it turns out you're actually
even worse.
Like child traffickers. Yeah, you're not child kidnapper pretending to be, get the ransom. You're just child traffickers. What a catfish. Just never heard the term used that way. It's like, I didn't know you could say, I guess because they met on the internet, you could, does that work though? Does that make sense? I got catfished by a plumber because he came and ripped out all my carpet, I just thought that was funny.
That's a weird use.
Oh, you're not what I hired you for? Oh my gosh, I've been catfished. I've been bamboozled. I've been hoodwinked. I don't know. I like the term that they didn't do the job that they were hired for. But I just never thought the term catfish applied. I thought that just only meant when you pretended to be somebody else that you weren't. Which, now saying that out loud, I just realized that that's exactly what they did. They pretended to be fake ransom collectors or whatever, kidnappers, but they were actually child traffickers. So
I thought that too, though. I feel like that they could have left that out. That didn't really make that much sense.
Yeah, it's just a weird term for it, right? Yeah, like I got catfished.
Like you're doing something awful, and they're just even worse. Like you're not catfished that far off.
I thought you were just gonna pretend to the ransom and turn the girl. How dare you do something so despicable like this? Well, anyway,
but yeah,
that's just funny.
Do recommend.
Yeah, if you like that type of movie.
Yeah. Cop had to die. Did the cop have to die there? Shoot, what's her face? Shoot Darby. Get shot like 100 times by the nail gun. Whew, that poor cop. I wanted the cop to be crooked or something. I wanted another twist. I just want to keep going, I thought the cop would show up and be like, I am the Uncle Kingpin. These are my two boys that kidnap children for me. I wanted something cool like that. But
no, I think it was like Get Out. I needed a relief of the stress. Because if it would have been a cop, I would have killed myself in Get Out. I could not do that at the end. I know Jordan said there's an alternate ending, and I would have hated that alternate ending, bro. If you would have gone to jail for killing Satan herself, Fruit Loop eater, separate milk and Fruit Loops, the fudge.
She's Satan because she eats it that way.
Yeah, dude. In the way she eats with no emotion, one at a time, psycho.
I thought this child was Satan in this movie.
Dance, monkey, dance. But we just want to get into... That's what I thought. Do you want to get into what we've seen lately?
I'm ready.
Yeah. Go for it, Cameron. What'd you watch lately?
Oh, Jane, you want to go first?
Sure. I already mentioned it, but the new Batman. Loved that. Saw it twice.
It's a great movie, isn't it? But careful, Jane. Don't voice your opinion on this because there are two people on this podcast
me and Jordan didn't enjoy it as much.
I especially loved when he stabbed himself with the adrenaline. Just kidding.
It was as good. It was just as good as when Darby did the hit. I mean, it was awesome.
And then me and Josh...
It's necessary!
Me and Josh have been rewatching all the X-Men movies because I haven't seen all of them. Some of them are really good and some of them are really bad.
Yeah.
First class.
Wolverine Origins?
Yeah, I just watched that one. It was terrible.
Oof.
I like... Days of Future Past was actually surprisingly really fun, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've only liked, to be honest, I think I've only liked, 2 or 3 X-Men movies.
I like Wolverine.
First Class.
And
Days of Futures Past.
Yeah.
I think those are the only
Wolverine...
Logan.
Logan and the Wolverine? The Wolverine the one when he went to Japan.
Good.
Yeah, the Japan one's good.
Yeah, that one's so
I had to pause it.
Because they did set up Logan.
Breathe, though, the scene
You'll be holding your heart in your
digging out
hand.
his own guts. I was like, oh, I'm going to be sick.
Yeah.
You had to pull out Las Plagas. Did anyone think that when they were watching Wolverine? I thought of Las Plagas from Resident Evil 4.
What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to, the new, what's it called? The Doctor Strange, Madness something.
Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah. That one.
Looks dope.
Yep.
And out of all the Batmans, I'm just curious, which one's your favorite? Do you like it better than the...
any of the trilogy?
I haven't watched I do like the Dark Knight trilogy, but I haven't seen it in a really long time, so as of now I'm gonna say the new one.
Would your attraction to Robert Pattinson have anything to do with that, Jane?
Well, I think Christian Bale is really hot too, so no.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do you find that Christian Bale is attractive too? Because he can kind of be off-putting with his eye wart and all, but
No, I like both a lot. I need to rewatch the older ones.
For sure.
Yes, you do.
Cameron, what about you? What have you seen?
I watched Predator, the first one, with Schwarzenegger. Gosh, that movie's fucking hilarious.
Isn't it so good? Stick around.
No, the line that had me...
When he throws a bamboo
The line that had me dying is
right?
when they're in the helicopter and he's trying to get the people to take tobacco, and they're like, I'm good. He's like, I'm on this plane with a bunch of... He's like, this will turn you into a machine. And I was like, this was so made in the 80s. Oh my gosh.
No, dude, my parents just like one of those times like, dude, you're bleeding. I ain't got time to bleed.
I got time to bleed. I'm like, the lines in that movie.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah, dude. I freaking love Schwarzenegger. I almost watched Total Recall just because I'm kind of on a Schwarzenegger binge.
Dude, do it. I did the same thing, and it's good,
so
Cameron.
Funny.
He is so funny.
I can't believe that it was like a Hollywood star, because he's just like so strong and just so like he's like The Rock, just not human size. That just he's the perfect protagonist because he's like a video game character. And then a very different tone. I watched The Hunt.
Cam, wait. Did you laugh out loud when he's like, "You are one ugly mother
effer"? Yeah, dude. There was so many lines I was dying at, and he's like, he smells something.
Dude, his laugh at the end.
Oh yeah, the Predator. I was like,
freaking villain, dude.
So good.
Sounds like Dracula, dude.
I wish they would have used the voice more, because that was a creepy as shiz.
Yeah, wasn't that?
Yeah, I hated that. I hate those movies where it's just like they're getting picked off one by one.
Do you know that's the same director of the first Die Hard?
Really?
McTiernan. Yeah.
That totally makes sense. Those explosions were gnarly.
Yeah, wasn't it? So
that
good.
scene with a minigun. He's like,
the arm
My
ripped
favorite
off.
is when they clasp hands and their biceps are
Yeah, and
becoming
he's
all
like,
oiled
"How
up.
you
He's
doing,
like,
you
you're
son of
getting
a-"
weak from pushing pencils. Yeah,
And then that's where that famous line, Cameron, in Rick and Morty, when they son of a bee, and they clasp hands.
I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
then
a trope.
And then I watched The Hunt. Very different than Predator. Holy cow.
On the
Isn't that the most stressful movie you've ever
I
seen?
hate that movie so much. It was almost a 10 out of 10 for me. I hate it so much. I don't know. See, like, I don't want to watch it ever again. And at the same time, it's so well done that I want to watch it again. I'm debating putting it in my top 100 just because it's a masterpiece.
Should I watch it?
Dude,
Yeah, it's very depressing. Like,
And don't you hate everybody in the town?
Yeah,
You're
F
just like,
everyone, dude.
well, I was going to ask Cameron.
F
I was
that
going to
little
ask
girl.
who
I hope that little girl dies and burns. Oh my gosh, dude, what a freaking whore. I hate her. Gosh.
So, Cameron, who do you think was on the hunt for him at the end?
Oh yeah, Cameron. Who do you think shot at him?
Oh.
Any ideas?
Okay, dude, I wouldn't put it past his best friend's wife, because that freaking, I hate her. She's the worst human being on earth.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I just don't know if a girl would have the gumption to do that.
I
though.
think it might be
I think it was a guy.
that guy who like was telling him to get out or whatever. That ginormous.
To leave?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and somebody throwing a
leave.
can at his head. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You
Yeah,
guys are
and
so
then the
already
store
mean.
workers beating the crap out of
You're
him. I
gonna
was so glad I went back and just
Yeah.
headbutted that dude. F that guy. Dude, I've never been so enraged watching a movie. I was just like,
When he punched his friend in the face in the church, Cameron, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, keep punching him. I'm like, what have I become?
Oh yeah,
Like,
absolutely. I texted in our group chat. I want to read what I said after it.
It's one of the more stressful movies that I've seen, Jane. So it's buckle up if you do watch
Okay.
it. It's a ride and a half.
Yeah,
that's for
I said,
sure.
I said, dude, I hope this little girl in the Hunt dies. She is a lying whore. I don't care that she's sick. She needs to be burned to death. And I said,
It's the one with-
his son is the real hero of this movie, spitting in her face. Yeah, dude. Why are
It's
you
the one
lying
with
about my
Mads
dad?
Mikkel-
I'm like, yeah, get him, boy. Beat him up.
Wait,
Yeah,
just
Jane,
don't
I'll
spoil
explain
it, Ty.
The
Just leave
Hunt-
it. Don't.
I know, but
No, don't even say
I'm
the
not-
synopsis.
Stop! I'm not.
Okay.
I'm saying it's the movie with Mads Mikkelsen. It's
Okay.
not the one with Hilary Swank.
Yes,
It's actually the
thank
movie's
you
called
for
The Hunt.
clarifying.
Okay.
Because she'd probably watch it and be like, "Oh, there was shooting. I don't get what you guys are talking about."
Yeah.
So if it has Hilary Swank in it, it's the wrong one.
Okay, thanks.
We're talking about the one that came out in 2012,
Yeah.
starring Mads Mikkelsen. You might know him from the villain from Casino Royale.
He's the one with
Yeah.
the
The
scar.
chief with
I know
the
who
eye
it is,
scar.
yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that's the movie The Hunt they're referring
Thank
to,
you.
not the Hilary Swank
And then
2020 movie.
Yeah,
also-
thanks for clarifying that.
I also
Hunger Games, yeah.
I also watched 500 Days of Summer with Kelsey. And yeah, it was like, I mean, amazing for the 100th time.
You're like, this is a really important movie to me, and she's like, it
What did
sucked.
she think of it?
You're like,
She really enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah, I know.
You can marry her then.
Yeah, I wouldn't have proposed if she didn't like it. And then
I was worried you have to call it the wedding.
I also watched 10 Things I Hate About You with her last night.
Oh, I love
Gosh,
that
dude,
one
the
too.
dad in that movie is so funny. She's like, I'm just going to a study group, otherwise known as And his comments are so funny. She's like, Daddy, we're just gonna go to prom and we're just gonna kiss and then I'll come home. He's like, kissing isn't the reason why my arms are covered in placenta every morning. It's so funny.
Was that J.K. Simmons? Who was the dad in that one? Was it J.K. Simmons?
No. What's his name? And Heath is amazing in that movie. But dude, he has that Joker smile. It's crazy. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt is amazing too as Cameron James. But
it's the
Larry
Miller from Princess Diaries.
Yeah, that dude is so fucking funny. He is an absolute goober. He's also from The Nutty Professor. But yeah, that was really fun. And then just looking forward to Moon Knight. Honestly, looks kind of interesting. And then
Moonlight or
Moon Knight. And then also Unstoppable was recommended to me from somebody. And also Full Metal Jacket, 12 Years a Slave. And then also Jordan just sent me a trailer that looks freaking dope. Men, an A24 film.
Same director of Annihilation, an Ex Machina.
And also I got recommended from somebody, one of my friends at work, Wyatt. He recommended X. It's another A24 film.
Oh, I want to see that too.
Yeah, it
looks kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, though.
Yeah, I would check the IMDb on that one before you, because it did look interesting. I thought I wanted to see it.
I'm going to see it. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm going to wait for Jordan to see it and then see his recommendation, because if it might be a little too much for me. But yeah, that's everything.
I mean, it literally is like the teens going out to make this film, and then they get killed in the process of making it in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre house, right? That's the one?
Yeah.
I thought I did write it down, Karen, because it looked interesting and appealing, but I don't know.
Yeah, plus A24 is like visuals always amazing, but then in plot usually pretty good.
Guys, my call says it's going to end in 2 minutes because I don't have like a membership or something.
No, it'll end all of ours.
Well, Jane, I'm afraid this is where we're going to have to let you go. You can't be part of the conversation anymore. So, but Jane, do you have an internet presence that you want people to be aware of?
Just Instagram.
People you want to stalk you. People like Lars. You can meet a lot of Larses out there.
I'm private, so hopefully I'll be able to.
Are you looking to traffic children or pretend to ransom children for some money? Are you desperate right now?
Not yet. Maybe later.
If you need a hit up of drugs, because most of the people on this podcast is totally fine with that. But no, everybody, Jane, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Guys.
Thank you for tuning into Future Hidden Movie Gems. Leave us an email, futuremovies@gmail.com. Leave us a 5-star review. Check us out on Instagram. Got funny clips of our shows. And check out our YouTube channel. All of the catalog of all the episodes are there. So everybody, this has been Future Hidden Movie Gems signing out. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Jay! Drugs are not that bad. Dare to do drugs.